Today I'm gonna go over everything you guys asked me about selling beats online, growing as a producer, the type beat game, everything just regarding that. If you don't know who I am, if you're new here, I've just been vlogging my day-to-day life, showing the journey as a producer. I'm 19 years old. I've grown multiple type beat channels to pretty good followings. I've gotten some pretty big placements, been able to travel, and we're still growing every single day. So I know a little bit about this stuff. I'm not an expert, but I've definitely made a significant amount of progress. So I believe today is day 6 of the vlog series, and today I'm about to cook, not beats, like I'm literally real cooking. While I do that, I might as well just record and answer all the questions. I got a bunch of them right here. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So most of these questions come from my Discord. Join it, it's a great community. And the first one is, what's the best way to find artists to connect and collab with? And I'll start this one out with a story, It was about 2020 when I first really started liking making beats, stuff like that. I got into like the underground rap scene at the time. Some of the big artists were like Tokyo's Revenge, people like that. And I found like a community of people in the underground who all work together. And I just simply DM'd some of those artists on Instagram. They weren't too big, so I was able to reach out and they answered. Obviously the big artists won't answer. But I reached out to this guy and he ended up rapping on one of my beats, and he got 2 other artists, technically 3, because one of them was a rap duo. 2 other artists featured on the song. One of them being a guy named Just Swede. And through that song, I made the connection with Just Swede, and so those other artists as well, but he's the main person I'm going to talk about in this story. And we continued to work after that. We became pretty close. We worked on a bunch of music together, even eventually kind of becoming friends at this point. And from there, he also got other artists featured on his songs and worked with other people. And then I met other artists through him. I continued to grow my brand. He met other producers, artists from me. So overall, the main thing that's helped me is finding a community in like some underground rap scene. Like, pick your niche and then find like a big community of artists that all work together and build relationships with the people there. Don't make it just about the money. Reach out to people who you genuinely think make good music. I think that's one of the best things you can do, One, if you actually have real friends in this shit, or at least people that, you work with consistently, you're always going to have work to do. So there's always going to be money coming in. You're going to enjoy the music way more. The music's going to come out better. Overall, it's just a good experience. This is what we got, by the way. We got this steak here. But I'll give you another example off of that first question. About 2021 now, the whole underground, the biggest artist in the underground, he kind of had, there was just some bad stuff happen, So the whole scene, just kind of died, and, everyone was like, now what do we do? And this new genre was emerging called aesthetic rap. And I got really big in the aesthetic rap scene. And I was, one of the top producers. So I gained a big following, and I pretty much did the same thing I did in 2020. I reached out to a bunch of the artists, and, some of them used my beats, and then some of them that I actually really like the music of, I got a little bit closer with. Now we consistently work and we consistently get songs with pretty good streams. So it's just a matter of doing that, establishing yourself in a certain community, and then reaching out to all the people in there that you genuinely fuck with. And then, you meet people off of those people, and then you just keep building. One final example, because I know I keep going on about this, and it's been a long answer. The first ever exclusive I sold all the way back in 2020 was for about $100. This actually might have been late 2019, when I was really just starting to make beats. I sold it for $100 to some random West Coast rapper, and he got 2 other artists featured on the song who were actually kind of big. So, of course, I reach out to the artists, and one of them doesn't answer, but the other one does answer. So I build that relationship. I tell him hey, we just worked on this song together. I made this beat. Would love to send you some more. And he actually answered. He was like, oh yeah, that beat was dope, bro. You should send some. I sent some over. He rapped on it. He got an even bigger artist on it. And I didn't ever get in contact with a bigger artist. I tried to, obviously, but it didn't work out. But yeah, that's just the power of trying to build connections off mutuals, establishing yourself in the community. Because after I got those couple West Coast songs going, I actually met a couple more West Coast artists, and I was kind of establishing myself in the West Coast community. I didn't end up really getting anywhere with that, but it could have been the start of something. This is what we're working with now. Just gotta wait for this shit to heat up. Second question: what should I send out to my email list to get more sales? I haven't talked about email marketing much at all on this channel, and maybe that is something that I want to get more into this year. And I would say there's a couple main things. I mean, there's a bunch of great email marketing resources on YouTube. There's a bunch of channels that talk about it. But honestly, I don't like the advice they give. I'll say one of the best pieces of advice in general in this whole music shit is to actually care about the music, actually care about the song, all that. And that goes in terms of like getting sales, building the relationships, like I said before. So if you actually care about your artists and you kind of like show that in your emails, you're going to convert more. So you don't want to just sell every time, you know. I try to send out like 1 email a week, but I might even try and bump that up. And sometimes I'll genuinely provide value for the artist. For example, there was this one time where I got to talk to this guy, and I'm actually going to talk about it a little bit on this channel as well. I mentioned it a few vlogs ago. I talked to this guy who's like really successful in short form content, and I learned a bit about the short form game from him. And I made an email going over what I learned from that guy, and a lot of the artists really were like, holy shit, that was super valuable, thank you. So that just, you know, no other producer's doing that. This is actually crazy game right here. Like no other producer's doing that. From what I've seen from like a lot of the other producers that do email marketing, they have like their automation set up. So, you know, when somebody buys a beat or downloads it, they get some like thank you emails, but they really just send like 1 email a week saying like, hey, I made new beats, check them out. They don't actually do anything that's like that engaging. So that's how I stand out. I have like, you know, value posts. I do have like my just like update posts, like, hey, I made new beats, just to get them on the page. Sometimes I'll have just like checking in posts. Like I'll genuinely ask them like how are you? What are you working on? Like, not even really trying to sell. So building actual relationships is the best way you could do it.
All right, guys, Future Seifel is here. Let me just give you a little story before we get into the rest of the video. First off, the mic fucked up. Again, I've been trying to figure out how to use this mic since I got it. I still can't figure it out. They said it would work with the iPhone, but it's not. So if anyone knows, let me know. Very sorry about that. But second off, I don't know where the footage went for the next 2 questions, so we're going to answer them now. I swear, as the year goes on, these vlog style videos are going to get better. I'm fucking trying my best, but holy shit, I suck. Like, the footage, the mic, why do you guys even watch me? I don't get it. But anyways, I have them pulled up here. Next question. I'm a little late, but when would you say it's okay to start trying to post in different niches? So this refers to the common advice in the type beat game of just stick to one niche. And I agree with that, but only in the beginning. That's the key there, is only in the beginning. So in the beginning of a new channel, I think the best way to grow is to just attack one keyword, get really good at that, become the best at that, and use that to grow. So I picked A$AP Rocky, for example, because that was a niche that I thought I was really good at producing, and I thought I could take over. So I did, and guess what? I took over. I had one of the most viewed A$AP Rocky beats of last year. I got over 1 million views, which is just insane to say. Now, if you look at my channel now, I post all types of stuff. I post A$AP Rocky, Tyler the Creator, Kendrick Lamar, Baby Keem, sometimes Kanye, and they all get pretty good views. If anything, they actually might get more views than my A$AP beats at this point. And that's because I transitioned properly. If you just go into a new niche randomly, chances are your audience isn't going to like it, because they all subscribe to you for A$AP Rocky, for example. Then when I randomly change to something else, they're going to be confused. So definitely in the early phases, do not do that, because you don't have the audience yet. Once you're a little bit bigger, you have like that core fan base that'll listen to pretty much everything you upload. So then you can transition and it works a little bit easier. But when you transition, only transition to a niche that still makes sense with your main artist. So for example, I switched over to Tyler the Creator beats from A$AP Rocky, and guess what? People often paired them together already. So if I just went from A$AP Rocky to like R&B or something completely different, it would make no sense. And then those core audience listeners that I already built up, my core fans, they wouldn't actually go listen to the new stuff. So it still has to be in the same realm. And I made another transition recently when Tyler the Creator dropped a remix on one of the Kendrick Lamar beats. I was able to start making those Tyler x Kendrick beats, and it's doing very well. So it worked out well in my favor. So if I just randomly went to something different, it wouldn't have worked. So the key is, one, build up a big audience first. I can't give you a set number on that. I had over 1,000 subscribers before I even did anything else other than A$AP Rocky. And then I didn't even really like solidify. I didn't start doing it consistently till about 2,000 subscribers. And then transitioning actually made my channel take off even further. So I think doing multiple niches is actually one of your best bets, but you just have to pull it off right, and a lot of people get it wrong. So you just have to be very careful with the moves you make and just make sure everything makes sense. You got to think about it from the listener's perspective. Hey Seifel, I'm struggling with momentum on Insta posting beat snippets. Do you reckon just to focus wholly on YouTube? Perhaps there's more intent there versus social media. Love the content, by the way. Here's the thing with the Instagram game. You can't just post your beat snippet with the black screen. You have to do something different or engaging. For example, I made a video where I tried posting on TikTok for 30 days and I wasn't successful. And the reason I wasn't successful is because my videos weren't that engaging. So you have to do something very unique or interesting to stand out on short form content. I'll also add that from most people I know, even people that are big on short form, most of their results come from YouTube anyways. So in my opinion, especially as a beginner, just focus all in on YouTube. Once you've kind of maxed out YouTube, you're already posting on a consistent basis, then maybe you want to experiment with these other platforms. But for the most part, YouTube's going to be your best friend when it comes to selling beats online. But like, I'm in the position now to where like, I've pretty much maxed out YouTube. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to do my thing, but there's not much else I can do. So now I'm going to start looking into Instagram Reels, trying to figure out how to go viral, trying to figure out the formula. I've been talking to some bigger people on Reels, and they've given me some advice. So yeah, I would definitely just focus in on YouTube in the beginning, or try and come up with some really unique formats. Maybe try and just steal what the top people are doing, but it's definitely a much harder game and a less rewarding game on Instagram. So yeah, those are the two questions that I lost. Now cue the steak montage, and then we'll get into the rest of the video.
I have no idea how long to put this on for, but hopefully it comes out good. Is that good? I have no idea. Question, how did you get better at making melodies and samples for your beats? Because that's what I've been struggling with the most lately. That's something I've wanted to improve on as well. And the main way to do it is repetition and genuine feedback. So just doing it 100 times is going to get you way further than watching 100 YouTube tutorials. You actually just have to take the action and make loops every single day. Make it your main priority if that's what you really want to improve on. And then what also helps is getting good feedback. So I plan on reaching out to a lot of the people who consistently send me loops. I'm probably going to get feedback from you guys. You guys would fry me in the comments if I make a shit loop. So yeah, trying to get feedback from people is also very helpful. And then the main thing, find loops you really like from other creators, download them and like really break them down. Look at the stems, see what they're doing, see what sounds they're using, what types of patterns, stuff like that. That helps a lot for me. Moment of truth. We're going to fucking see if this came out good. Ooh, it might be good. That might be good. Hold on. I don't know how to like properly show this, but I'll show you after. That's not bad. Wait, that might be perfect. Oh shit. Chef Seifel in the cut? Did we fucking cook? That looks not that bad. If y'all like it, well done, by the way. We can't be friends. But I think I just fucking cooked. I think that's not bad. That's not bad. My channel is getting good views. Like not crazy, but consistent. Always above 150 views. All of a sudden, it's not getting a single view, and it's been going for a week now. If it's a new channel, it might just be one of them ones that never take off, because that's a thing that happens to a lot of people. If it's something you've been doing, a channel you've been running for months, it's hard to say in situations like this. And that's also part of the reason I wanted to answer this one specifically, because like, you never know sometimes. There's always ups and downs. Sometimes it's unexpected. Sometimes you can look in the analytics and be like, this makes sense. So I think it's a matter of that. You have to check your analytics and see if there's genuinely nothing. It might just be one of them channels that never took off. But I will add, if you've had a poppin' channel before and then it randomly goes to shit, like if my channel randomly went to shit, that's not bad luck or the algorithm. I genuinely fucked up if my channel goes bad at the point I'm at now. So it depends on your point. I would need more context for a more in-depth answer. I'm trying to make more Clams Casino x ASAP Rocky type beats. You mentioned that ASAP isn't as big of a keyword as it was before. What do you think I should change it to? Okay. I said that in the last vlog. I kind of fucked up because, I was talking about like as a whole right now, ASAP Rocky type beats not getting as many views as it was like 4 or 5 months ago. But ASAP Rocky's a huge artist. All of you know ASAP Rocky. So it's not a dead niche whatsoever. If there's like a big artist like that, they're here to stay. Obviously there's ups and down periods, like I said, but you shouldn't change just because of that. Like I was talking about how like a lot of people are pairing ASAP Rocky x JID type beats right now just because, ASAP Rocky itself doesn't seem to be doing that well. And it's like you shouldn't quit
a niche just because it's not doing well. Like, I'm still doing ASAP Rocky beats. I'm just pairing it with other things, stuff like that. And you're doing Clams Casino x ASAP Rocky, which I think is a great tag because it's a little bit more niche. But also Clams Casino, he produced those couple songs with Kid Laroi recently, which have been going crazy. So, you know, there's definitely a market for that. I've done a couple Clams Casino beats. I think I sold a couple leases on them. They did pretty well. So yeah, I actually think that's a good niche to get into, especially if that's like your main thing, because I don't think a lot of people make that, but I think it's something a lot of people are searching for now due to just, you know, ASAP Rocky, Kid Laroi, obviously, people like that. Do you upload every beat you finish to YouTube/BeatStars, or do you have some of them only for sending to bigger artists? Yeah, a lot of people ask me about that because a lot of people are like, oh, I'd like making all types of beats. I'm one of the most diverse producers out there. Like, I make way more of a variety of beats than you see online. But if you're trying to build a following online, and I think it is best to stick to, you know, your one niche, one genre. So, you know, on BeatStars and YouTube, I do only stick to those one things. But when I'm cooking up outside of there, if I'm cooking up for placements, or I'm cooking up with artists that I'm, you know, close with, then it's all types of stuff. So I do have a whole big vault of beats that I do just like send out, or stuff that's outside of the YouTube channel. Can you go in depth on retention and what concepts to get people to listen to the beat longer? Is there a certain watch time that pushes your beat in the algorithm? So on YouTube, their goal as a platform is to get you to watch as long as possible. So that's why if people watch majority of your beat or your video, it gets pushed out more, because obviously YouTube wants that. You know, if people are clicking off in the first 10 seconds, then people aren't staying on the platform. Obviously YouTube doesn't want that, so they're not going to push your video. So in terms of retention, the things that matter are how many people are still there after the first 30 seconds, and then the overall percent viewed, average percent viewed, and then like the retention rate. My best performing beats have about a 40% and higher retention rate, but some of them are even like 50 plus, 65 plus on my top beats. I think my top beat is like 50%. My second most viewed is, I think it's also like 55. My third most viewed is my highest one. It's like 65% retention. And that's partly because it's just a really short beat. But what I've seen is consistently people will stay for the entire intro of your beat. So if you make the intro a little bit longer than you normally would, people will stay for that. So that'll help get people over like staying past the first 30 seconds. And then if they just like the beat and it's a good beat, they'll stay for the whole thing. If you have a beat that ends up doing well retention wise, you can actually just copy that arrangement and try it out on more beats and see if it continues to do well. Then you have a bit of a formula there. Obviously, don't be scared to branch out and try new things, but if you do have something that works, then why change it? Do you recommend having multiple type beat channels? It's hard to say, you know. I've seen some of these guys that just have like these operations of just like 10 type beat channels that they're posting on consistently and just in all these different niches, and they're just getting a shit ton of sales. Like, I can imagine those guys make crazy money. But if you're a beginner, who I assume, you know, most of the people watching this are probably more towards the beginner phase, just do one channel. Don't do 3 channels thinking you're going to get 3 times the results, because I mean you could, but in the beginning you're going to want to put all your focus into one channel. It's more than just, you know, trying to get out a beat as fast as possible and putting it on YouTube every single day. When I made the most progress on my type beat channel, I was really like obsessing over it, looking over it every single day, trying to improve, trying to like study the top. Like, it takes a lot, dude. Like, making the beat itself, you know, making beats doesn't take that long, but when you're doing all this other shit and really just trying to perfect your beat for YouTube, it does take a lot more time. So in the beginning, I would recommend just one channel. You know, if you do get to a level to where you're doing pretty well, like I'm at the point now where it's like, if I did really have like this desire to make beats in an entirely different genre, then, you know, I would make another channel. But that's the only time making another channel makes sense, is like if you have 2 different genres which wouldn't mesh well on one channel. I think once you get success the first time, it's pretty easy to replicate it a bunch of times. But if you just have like a failed type beat channel, just keep making new ones over and over again, it's not really going to do you any justice. So in the beginning, I'd say no, but later on you can consider it. I think about that sometimes. It's like, I make pretty decent money off this one channel. What if I did just have like 5 channels in 5 different niches? You know, obviously that would be insane work to manage. I'd probably have to just like strictly rely on collabs. But just like, even then, you know, let's say I'm making 5 times the money, even though I have to split it with collabs every time, it's still more money overall. But like, no, it's too much of a stress. I don't care that much. I'd rather just grow the one channel. I think long term that'll be better for my brand anyways. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. So yeah, that is all the questions for today's Q&A. Maybe this could be a segment we do maybe once a week, every other week, or just maybe when we hit milestones. So let me know what you guys think. I hope I helped you. If you do need further help, you really want to get to your first sale as fast as possible, or if you just want to get consistent with it, click the first link in the description below. There's a short video you can watch there which kind of explains how to do that, how to work with me. Like I said in the previous question, YouTube loves watch time, so you should definitely help me out by clicking right here, watching another video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.